Rieccoci su Non Solo Anima TV, abbiamo qui con noi John Anthony West, scrittore e studioso della cultura egizia. Welcome, Mr. West. Why is the necessity of doing a convention on ancient Egypt today, and what is the message we must keep in mind?
Well, the importance is actually, if you have the people who are actually responsible for doing, if the people who are doing the work are there in person, let's say there's an energy coming from the people that is not there, let's say in a book even, or a video, people can ask questions. There's an energy at a convention. A lot of people getting together with a basic desire to learn, and to learn this kind of specific thing creates its own power, as it were, that doesn't communicate either individually or even from our books or videos. So there's it's more an energy thing, and it's a place where people can exchange ideas, and it's a result. People come, if it's a successful conference, people come home the way you might say they do from a really good movie, or if your team wins the World Cup, everybody feels elated by it. So a good conference creates that kind of communal power, interest, excitement, and they're good things.
Let's go a step behind. Let us forget what we study at school, and let me ask you, what are the Egyptian pyramids?
Yes, actually, most of what we learn at school we should ignore, because I have a line in one of my books that modern education is to the mind what AIDS is to the immune system. The more you have of it, the more likely it is to be lethal. So, in fact, if you're going to learn anything useful, you have to question virtually everything except 2 + 2 = 4 that you've learned in school. As far as the pyramids are concerned, the facts are correct. In other words, they're so-and-so high, and they're so-and-so wide, and they have so many stones. What they are for, we don't know, but what we can say quite definitely is what they're not for, and they're not tombs for egotistic pharaohs. There's no evidence whatsoever that any of them was ever a tomb. What they're for, nobody really knows. When you're in them, when you study them, you get a very powerful sense that they are devices of some sort. A documentary not too long ago, National Geographic or something like that, called them immortality machines, but with a sneer. But in fact, remove the sneer, and that's somewhere close. They are designed in one way or another to further the quest for individual and collective immortality, which is the basis of the entire Egyptian doctrine. Everything in Egypt, everything religious, which is most of what we have left, is aimed or is directed at that single goal, which is the immortality of the soul.
The study of the ancient Egypt and of similar relevant civilization, can it help us to understand who we really are and where we do come from?
Yes, very much so, actually, because we have no civilization to speak of today. What we call progress is actually the antithesis, the opposite of civilization. When we study Egypt, and especially when we go there, because there's no substitute for actually going there and experiencing these places. But when you go there and then study it, you, even if not intellectually, but viscerally, emotionally, you understand how civilized people once behaved and how they conducted their lives. And whereas we're not about to, even if we get out of from the morass, the swamp that the current civilization is in, we're not going to be building pyramids again, but let's say the motivation, the spirit that motivated Egypt, maybe we can recapture that spirit and manifest it in a way appropriate to the upcoming age.
Where does your theory's preconditions take origin from? And beyond your studies, did you at the same time and personal experiences, contacts of some kind, visions or revelations?
Really, they're not my theories. I mean, my theories come from a couple of sources. In part, the Gurdjieff work that I was in for many years formally. I'm no longer formally associated, but that was my background for being able to understand Egypt. And then R.A. Schwaller-de-Lubitsch, who effectively reconstituted the ancient sacred science in a manner accessible to our Western intellects. So I'm really, you might say, a spokesman for that combined understanding of Gurdjieff and Schwaller and a number of other scholars. Obviously, in my own work, there's certain discoveries and all of that, but they're not really original to me. They're carrying on what I like to think of as the ancient wisdom tradition, but putting my own spin on my own work. Obviously, it's individualized, but it's certainly not original in the sense that I invented this out of thin air. It's based upon the work of others, thousands of years worth of others before me. My own experiences, yes, nothing spectacular. I'm sort of psychically challenged, you might say. I don't get visions and things of that sort, but I certainly, in doing the study itself and doing the scholarship, there are definitely, let's say, moments of revelation. And then traveling to Egypt, particularly after I'd done all of this years of study and went to Egypt for the first time, it was, that was revelatory, yes, but it was, no visions or anything, or, no great mystical experiences, but let's say the kind of artistic, emotional hit that you get when you hear a great piece of music for the first time and are overwhelmed by it. So a lot of that, but not in the classic sense of visions, no.